Alright, today I'm going to go over some real basic functions of the DE3000 keypad. We're in manual stop. You have stop, reset, test, cancel timers, view, units, up, next, view, F1, F2, tens key to the right, tens key to the left, enter, escape, units, menu. Right now I'm in manual stop, or at least that's what I think, but I want to see, hey, did this thing have a fault and shut down? So I can push view channel and it's going to take me and show me the last fault. It's going to say status manual stop, first fault low, channel 1, 1128 PSI. So that's where we shut down on the last time. I'm going to escape and go back into the home screen. And notice on the home screen we only see 3 lines of data. Now I can push F1 and it takes me into the analog screen and it shows me all analog channels. At this point I can advance one line at a time by using the units key, or I can jump back up to the top of the list and back down to the bottom by using the tens keys. Back to the home screen. If I want to view a channel, I can view all kinds of different channels as well by pushing it multiple times and twice and then scrolling through what channel do I want to see the actual current value on by itself. If I push view, it takes me to a section that shows me what digital outputs are turned on at the time. And if I push view a second time, it takes me to a section where it wants to see grafting, or it asks me to select a channel for grafting. Now some people like to do this, especially if you're trying to troubleshoot something out in the field and watch what's going on, say maybe with the suction pressure. If you think a control valve might be freezing off, it's actually good. Let's get into the menu. When I first push menu, it asked me to enter in a password. Well, the default password is 1, so it's obviously already entered. And I'm going to push menu, or enter. And it's asking me, it's telling me, hey, that's the correct password. And it's giving me an opportunity to change the password, but I don't want to change it, so I'm simply going to push menu to continue. We have edit controls, safety, hour meters, and view firmware. Now, viewing the firmware is a critical thing. If you're ever calling in for help, you'll want to be able to tell us what the firmware dates are. I'm going to escape one time, and it takes me back to the main menu, or main home screen. I'm going to go back into the menu. Edit control values. There's edit set points, edit controls, PID loop deadbands. So let's just cover a few of the basics. Edit control set points. Now, most of the time you don't have to edit control set points, but let's just say you want to go in and change your oil pressure permissive, which would be on a control set point. This is where you would go. Now, it looks very similar to the safety set points, but it says control at the top, so you don't get too confused. And you would navigate to the channel that you would want to change. Maybe compressor oil pressure. We ship most of them out already programmed at 10 PSI, but maybe you want to change that value up a little bit or down. Here's where you would do it. As soon as you're done making your change, you would push enter. It takes you back to the channel. You can go to the next channel, or you can go escape to back out one level. Edit controls. This is where you might go in to change your automatic speed control based on suction pressure. Right now you have a low variable. I have 1000 PSI entered and 1780 PSI. Wow, this is high pressure. I also have a low limit, 6.9 milliamps to 20 milliamps. So if this was on a Caterpillar engine, at 20 milliamps we might be running whatever the ET program for the Cat says. And if it's a 3500, 1400 RPMs perhaps. Likewise, if it said 4 milliamps here, we might be running as low as 1000 RPMs. But we can change that to 4 milliamps. But let's say if I didn't want to run as slow as 1000 RPMs, I wanted to raise it up a bit, here's where I could do that. And I could simply do this with it down or with it running, I could save a change, put the unit back into auto, and try it. Escape out. Edit safety shutdowns. Now there's a lot going on under this screen. Edit safety. Edit set points. Again, this looks just like the control set points, with the exception is these are the safety kills. So if I go up the list and find, there it is, channel 6 compressor oil pressure, I have a low kill at 10 pounds and a high kill at 90. Well, obviously those aren't real world settings, but hey, I am in a control lab. So if you want to make a change, you'd simply just push enter and drop the cursor down to the one you want to make a change on. I'm going to run this one up. We'll run it up to 30 pounds. And then when I'm done, I just move the cursor off one time. It doesn't matter. And I escape out. If I wanted to go to the next channel, I could have kept pushing enter until my cursor was lined up with the channel number, and then use my up down arrows to advance. More menus. Output configuration, edit time and date, communications. Communications we covered in another document, so I won't cover that. Edit time and date. Here's an opportunity to change the time and date that this one's stamped at. Same principles. Output configuration. I advise you not to do this, especially if you're coupled to a modern day Atom series CAD engine. Just let the software do this. Previous menu. Input class. This is nothing that we can really change here. We can just view it. So if we want to know what class channel 1's at, we can see that, hey, it's low is on a class C, high is on a class A. Let's go to channel 6. So we got low on a class B, 120 seconds, class A. You can't change anything, but you can see what's going on to know if you need to get the laptop out to connect to it. Edit global values. Not much is going on there. It's going to let you edit the test time. That's it. That's the basics of the DE keypad. There's really not a whole lot to do. Now, if we wanted to put this thing into a running state, I think I need to give it some RPM. Whoop. Let's see if it'll let me cancel the timers. Yeah, so now I've got it into the running state. There's a little bit more you can do in the running state. For example, everybody keeps saying, well, what's the F2 button do? Well, if I push F2 from the running state, it asks me if I want to enter the cooldown mode. I say, sure. So now I want to push enter, and there I'm in the cooldown, and we can see the time counting down. Now this just disables only certain channels, usually low process pressure channels, to allow you to unload the unit and reduce the RPM manually. I can hit cancel timers, and we're back to the running state. That's it in a nutshell. We'll call this Rev 1 of the keypad. If you have any more questions, I'll be posting other videos. Thanks. Bye.